Whew. Okay, I'm in a second day turkey dressing cranberry sauce coma here, so if I fall asleep, just yell real loud, please. It'll probably wake me up and I'll get going again. Anyway, everyone out in the VC, I don't know if you've heard or not, but today is record store day. All day long, as a matter of fact. That being the case, I went out to a couple of record stores and bought some records and spent more money than I wanted to, as usual. But anyway, I was a pretty good one, I think, because this is maybe the first time that I got pretty much absolutely everything that I wanted. There were a few things that had been there, I might have picked up, but wasn't anything I just urgently needed. So there was one thing. There was a Pretenders 45 box set that looked really cool. All the original 45s from the original band from 79 to 81. Looked real neat, but it was $80, and I thought, well, I can just take a pass on that because I think it only had 7 or 8 45s in it. Would love to have it, but not at that price. There were a couple of James Brown albums out, and I didn't see either of those. I might have picked those up. A couple of Miles Davis things. Might have picked up the Devo Live. There was a Charlie Brown Christmas album box set, something, that I'm not really even sure what that is. I know it's the Christmas album, but I've got that. I've got like 3 or 4 versions of that already, so that's no big deal. Saw the Jimi Hendrix picture disc with the Silent Night and Little Drummer Boy. But I already have that somewhere else, so I didn't want to spend $30 for a picture disc, even though it looked kind of cool. Might have picked up the Monkees Christmas single if I'd seen it, but I didn't. And there was a Thomas Dolby 45. One of Our Submarines Is Missing and Blinded Me with Science, both of which are really great songs, but I already have those, so it would have been kind of cool maybe to get it on the 45, but I can live without it. Also, maybe the Motown Rare album. I didn't see that. I might have picked that up. But those were things that had I seen them, I may have picked them up. So my record store day haul is not huge, but it's pretty quality, I think. There were a couple of blind buys in here. We'll see how those turn out. But we'll start with, I went to Doc's Records in Fort Worth, and then I went to Forever Young Records in Grand Prairie after that. So we'll start with the second store first, Forever Young, because here's one that I wanted, and I was actually glad that they had the records out. The crowd had already been through pretty much. There were people in there, but the initial crowd had been through. They had the albums out, but there were no 45s, and I asked the guy, I said, man, did the 45s sell out? He goes, no, they're over here. So I'm glad I asked, because this is one that I wanted. This is Cheap Trick doing Give Me Some Truth, the John Lennon song, of course. And side 2 is I Wish It Could Be Christmas Every Day, which they put out a Christmas album for Record Store Day a year or 2 ago. Figured it was just a track off of that, but it's not. It's actually a live take of them with Roy Wood, who from Wizard, who originally wrote and did the song. So I guess it's a live version of that. Anyway, there's the... This is limited to 1,500 copies. They're not numbered, doesn't look like, but there's the back, kind of Union Jack for a Cheap Trick. There being a band from Chicago or wherever. But there's the label, kind of a cool label, and same label on both sides. And there's your 45 on red vinyl. I know they've done Sgt. Pepper and Magical Mystery Tour, Day Tripper, several Beatles cover songs, cover versions. So it'll be kind of interesting to see what they do. Give Me Some Truth is one of my favorite Lennon songs. So that'll be fun to see how that goes, and I wanted that. There also was a Cheap Trick live album, which I didn't see, but it was from 1979. Would have looked at it if it was there, but I was kind of thinking, well, the Budokan album, I think, is from 79, so I don't know how that would really be any different from that. Maybe it is. Anyway, moving on, and there's some more 45s in the other bag, but moving on to the albums here momentarily. Love Richard Thompson. Love him with his solo stuff, with the Richard and Linda Thompson stuff, and of course with Fairport Convention. which is just an incredible group that they're still around, but he hasn't been in decades. But I don't think any of the original people really in them anymore. But those first 5 or so Fairport albums with Sandy Denny, Richard Thompson, she wasn't actually on the first one, but anyway, those are all essential and worth checking out from 69 up through 71 or so, whenever they left the band. Anyway, this is The Cold Blue, which was a documentary film about World War II bombers. You can kind of tell from the cover. There's the back cover. There's a bomber plane. I'm thinking this is probably, I didn't see the documentary. I remember when it came out a few years back. Seems like it was. Looks interesting, but I never saw it. But I'm thinking this is probably just all instrumental music. But he's one of my favorite guitar players. He's just incredible guitar-wise. Pretty good singer and a good songwriter. Double album. And the albums, there's the label. I don't know if that's going to show up with the glare. Got the bomber planes again. There's the other label, which has the songs for both sides of that particular album. And the album is on this, it says sky blue vinyl, but it's kind of this swirly white and blue. It looks really, really nice. And the other one is basically the same thing, just the first or second album of that set. So I'm looking forward to hearing that because I haven't heard that. His latest album, which came out earlier this year, I heard is very good, quite good actually. Anyway, there were 1,250 copies of that, according to the Record Store Day printout thing. Another one that I was interested in, I was hoping I would find it, and I was kind of thinking I might not, but there was one copy there, and I'm glad I got it. This is a blind buy. Merry Christmas from King Records, which is says holiday time capsule of legendary King Records is diverse and wonderful and wildly eclectic as the vast, varied, iconic King catalog itself, blah, 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 blah. So, I've never heard of any of these people. You can read those names there with the glare on them. There's the back, some of the people, and that does look like a varied and eclectic class of people. There's the song listing, and it's your usual Silent Night, I'll Be Home for Christmas, Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, I didn't know that was a Christmas song, Jingle Bells. There's a few things I haven't heard here. Merry Christmas to Michael. I'm assuming that's not Michael Jackson because I'm thinking King Records was around back in the 50s or 60s. Christmas in Heaven, Christmas Questions. So there's some Christmas songs I haven't heard. I'm looking forward to hearing that. Also says there that this is a high fidelity recording. I would accept nothing less, so I was glad to see that. And this was one of those regional focus things, which are pretty hard to find because they only go to certain parts of the country, and it could be, no telling, it could be the South, the North, the Pacific Northwest, the East Coast, the whatever. But says there were only 800 of these made, so I'm glad that I got a copy of it. Whether it's any good or not, I'll find out in a little bit, because I think this might be the first one I play. I've got a vast collection of Christmas albums and CDs and 45s, and I just have a thing for Christmas music. Anyway, show you the album here, and it's red vinyl, and the King label there looks pretty swell, I think. So some good Christmas music, and it's that time of year to start playing that stuff. So I'm gonna check that out here, probably in a little bit, and set that aside. And what do we got? That's all in the Forever Young bag. So we'll move on to the Doc's Records bag. See what kind of goodies we got in here. And we'll start with the 45s. So I guess you Beatle people probably heard of this. Paul McCartney, 2 songs that he didn't release until now that were for the Egypt Station sessions, Home Tonight and In a Hurry, and Picture Disc. The other side, I took it out, the other side is the same picture, not a different picture. And there's the back of it. It's a double A side, and they're listed as song A, or side A and side AA. And so I heard these songs once each, and I quite liked them, even though it's been several days, so I can't remember them at all. My only beef with this, I did like them, and I heard someone on one of the Beatle podcasts I've been Tom Hunyadi. I'm not sure because I listen to so many of those things that I lose track of who's who on them or which one I'm listening to. But they were talking about this, and someone said they wished he would have put these two songs on Egypt Station and dropped two of the weaker songs, which maybe. I really did like them. One of these starts off kind of slow, but then it picks up and it's a really good pop song, and the other one kind of good from the get go. Both of them just sort of rock pop songs. Looking forward to hearing them again. My only beef, like I said, is this is the only other than you can listen to them on YouTube or on those streaming, Pandora, those type things. I don't really do the streaming thing, but this is the only physical media version of this as of now. Picture discs I love. They're wonderful. They're pretty to look at and set up on your shelf and display and so forth. But sound quality on them is leaves a lot to be desired, unfortunately. So I wish he would have, for Record Store Day, put this out at a picture disc version and then just a regular vinyl version, maybe with a neat picture sleeve, maybe this stuff for the picture sleeve, so could have a good copy to play. But other than that, I'm looking forward to. I don't really want to give an impression other than I heard them one time and I liked them. But maybe if I listen to them again, I won't like them so much, or I'll like them more, or whatever. We'll see. I'm looking forward to hearing them. So the Paul McCartney thing, and there were 12,000 copies of that made. It says here. One last single, and I almost didn't buy this, but I liked the cover, so I went ahead and bought it. It is the Kinks. Got Arthur and Brainwashed, and these are two songs from the Arthur album from 1969, which just got a 50-year anniversary release in several versions, including a deluxe box set, which I got, and I'm going to do a video unboxing on that. I've been wanting to do that because I've had it for 2 or 3 weeks now. I've been wanting to do that and just haven't had time. The reason I almost didn't buy this is because these are just two songs on the regular album, so there's nothing. They're mono, but when you get the box set, you get the CDs in mono and in stereo. So I mean, there's nothing particularly interesting or special about the two songs, other than both of them are incredible, great songs. I will say that, especially Arthur, the title track there, Brainwashed, is great too. The reason, and this is limited to 2,500 copies, it says, and there's a, that's not going to show up, is it? Yeah, there's a little sticker there, and they're not numbered, but I bought it just because that's a pretty cool picture sleeve, and I really love the Arthur coffee cup on the back there, which is on the album too, but thought that was really cool, so I went ahead and bought it. It's on red colored vinyl, it says, so red seems to be pretty popular this Record Store Day, but I'm not sure I'll ever open it because I'm just going to keep it for the picture sleeve. Don't really have any need to play it because I've got the album on vinyl that I've had since I was in 9th or 10th grade, and I've got the CD and I've got the deluxe box set, so I've got access to those songs. Otherwise, okay, the final and last album that I bought is another blind buy, and this was one I was looking at the list and thinking that'd be kind of interesting, but I didn't think it would be there because it's another one of those regional releases, so they don't all go to all areas of the country. But sure enough, there was one copy, and I thought, well, I'm going to go ahead and get it. And so it is Patsy Cline, Sweet Dreams, The Complete Decca Studio Masters, 1960 to 1963. And I say this is a blind buy because I'm not a country fan, not really, don't like much of it, just very, very little that I do like. But I always liked what I've heard of her, and she's kind of country, to me, she's kind of more pop music with country tinge to it than she is straight country. But the only thing I know by her, and I don't know that much about her, just that she was a singer and she was in an airplane crash and killed back in 62, 63. And just the music-wise, just the hits, I Fall to Pieces and Crazy and the other Pyramids of Egypt or whatever the other song is. And as far as I know, that's all I've ever heard of her. But this has got 3 record sets, so there's, if you want to freeze frame that, There's all the titles, if you can read it with the glare. So there's a lot of stuff on here that I have no idea what it is. I don't know if her regular music is more country than pop, or what it's like. I guess I'll find out. And I'm not even sure how long or what year she was active. I'm guessing mid to late 50s through whenever she died, 62, 63, whenever that was. Little pricey, but 3-record set, and I just thought I'd go ahead and take a chance and give it a listen, see if I like it. Great cover, I really like that. You've already seen the back cover there with the title listing. I'll show you, there's another good shot of her with I guess a disc jockey at a radio station, it looks like. But this is what I really like, and we'll see if this is going to show up. The inside gatefold folds out, and you got these 3 really great pictures of her. So that's really neat, I think. And then I went ahead and took the albums out, so I didn't have to do that on camera. And I'll show you the 3 records. And like I said, red is a popular colored vinyl choice this record store day. So there's the first album, that's on red vinyl, as you can see. And get in there. And second album, and I really like this. That's a kind of a royal deep purple. I like that one. So that's side C and D album. And finally, the last one is kind of a, what is that? Yellow, orangish yellow. I guess that's yellow. Anyway, so that looks nice too, and that's the E and F sides. So that is what I got for record store day. Had fun running around, and I actually went in a little later, got up and had some errands to do, and I didn't want to do I've done it before and it was fun, but just wasn't in the mood for the get up and go out there at 5 in the morning or 4 in the morning type thing. So I didn't hit the record stores till probably about 10:30 to 1 for one of them, and then I had to drive across town for the other, so I got there around 11 something or other. So, but there were still pretty good selections left at both, and yeah, you don't care about that because you don't live here. But anyway, that's my record store day experience. I hope if you guys went, you got what you wanted and had fun doing it. I'm looking at the my subscriptions on YouTube here, and I'm kind of surprised because there's only one person that's posted a record store day video so far, which usually by this point there's a ton of them up, so maybe a lot of people didn't go, or they're going to do them later on. But I'll look forward to seeing and watching everyone else's, what they got and what they wanted and didn't get and all that good stuff. So happy day after Thanksgiving, happy record store day, and happy weekend ahead. I'll be back with some more videos when I'm back. Take care.